Right then, welcome back, and today, well, we're going to do this KTM 390R, and those of you that don't want to listen to my voice, you can go to the setup at 9 minutes 53. Now, I have avoided tiddlers, not really a massive amount of enjoyment in them for me, but I know people do like using them, so I thought we would have a little go, see how we got on. I was massively concerned about trying to work the setup out, but I think we got there. Tyre temps are an issue, but we'll come on to that later. Now, the racers, well, they're a little bit busy. There's a lot going on, no one's got much power, so it comes down to whether you can use the brakes or not, and apparently I can't. The brakes on this bike are horrific. Single disc, a Bi-Brie caliper, which is Brembo's like cheap brand, value brand, whatever you want to call them. We did sort of eventually kind of work the brakes out, but we didn't really, and we just kept running wide, and we just made a mess of it constantly. We made a raft of changes, gave the front a bit more support, tried to get it moving like a little bit quicker, so we're actually pushing the tyre into the tarmac to try and, one, get some heat in it, and two, get the suspension and tyre to do a little bit of work. But we kind of worked it out. It's just not quite quick enough to load things up enough, and then it doesn't have enough brake to stop any momentum you've got. But the racers are busy. It feels like a long while since we've done one of these, since I've done anything that involves me speaking into a microphone to give my thoughts, opinions and advice on Ride 4. But yeah, it was quite busy and naughty, and it took me a little while to kind of get back into it, between being away with work, being out on the bikes, having COVID, getting over COVID, and all the usual crap that life throws at you. I just have not had much time at all to be on my Xbox. But like I say, we did get the brakes eventually sorted out. Rear tyre temps, pointless, absolutely pointless, stone cold. That's on a soft tyre as well. Maximum commitment is required to get any heat into the front tyre. You want to warm that tyre up, you have got to go so hard. There is no margin for error whatsoever, and it just doesn't use any tyres. I mean, it's used what, 20 odd percent of the tyres. The front's warm, the back is not. Time trial wise, well, we did quite a few laps. We did 15. Lap 11 was our best, and yeah, find the braking point for the first corner, sling it in, crank it all the way over the lean angle as well. Oh, watch this, up round here through the mountain. So we go left, turn 2, throw it across to the right, clip the curb, and just keep it pinned. The lean angle, eventually, once I'd worked the bike out, was just absolutely mega. Leaderboards wise, well, it surprised me actually, because it's not anywhere near the 400, I think it's 400. The 400 PI or PP, whatever limit is, the performance rate, and it's nowhere near the limit. I just think it can carry so much corner speed with so much lean angle, despite the cold tyres, that yeah, it goes quite well. Now, it says we've beat all the recommended ghosts. I used to think that means you've beat all the ghosts that are on the leaderboard. It doesn't. It actually means you've beat all the ghosts with a similar performance rating to you, which we haven't, because the German rider in front of us is, what, 0.3 quicker. So it does tell porky pies. Next up, after Cadwell Woodlands, we went to Brand's Hatch Indy, and yeah, this track felt too big, way too big for this motorbike. It just had very, very, very little performance left in the tank. The start-finish straight seemed to go on forever. Again, it was all about the start. Get on the start, or there's a little bit of argy-bargy that we somehow managed to get through. Get off the start, get your elbows out, just sling it up the inside like this, down into Graham Hill Bend, just get the elbows out. They will move out the way if you persuade them gently enough, and this is an absolute treat. So what were we, down in 6th, up to 3rd, you know where we're going, straight through the middle, Top Gun style, yes please, into 1st, and away we went with the fairies. Now, the track felt too big, and it felt like the race was kind of happening in slow motion, so it was one of them weird scenarios where it felt like I had almost too much time to make decisions, and I was second guessing myself in bits and bobs. But first is first, isn't it? The bike went okay. I'm not going to lie, it was a little bit hard going. Time trial wise, yeah, we did plenty of laps again. 17 laps. Best was lap 10 on a 50.1. Yeah, lap after lap. It's because the bike doesn't have a lot of go. Like I said, you've got to be just perfect. You've just got to be clipping the white lines next to the curbs all the time. Up towards Druids. Just you've got to just feather the brake, throw it in, get on the gas as soon as you can. Down to Grain Hill Bend, clip the curb on the right, clip the apex of the curb on the left, stand it up, fire it out. It's just, yeah, look, I mean, again, look, white line to white line, little tiny dab on the brakes to get the bike just to tuck in, over the curb, on the brakes again, down the gears, 300ths of a second down, but we get such a good run out of Clark Curve onto the start-finish straight, but the bike gets to 107 miles an hour and just seems to stop. It doesn't really want to go much quicker. And in the end, we did, that 50.1. Anything with more straight line go is going to absolutely hammer you. Harley Davidson's rule the roost. What a name, Knobrot. Sir, I salute you. Yeah, 49.7. That's quick. That's a good 4/10 quicker than we went. So, yeah, well done, sir. Well done indeed. Oulton Park Fosters next. And yes, whilst Brands Indy went off without a hitch, not so much at Oulton Fosters. It normally was my fault running into the back of people, late on the brakes, slinging it in, or just doing stupid stuff like that. Very AI manoeuvres, but I mean, look how hard we are trying. Nope, that's not going to work, my friend. And when we eventually, you've got to get the start perfect. Electronics wise, I was torn between anti-wheelie 0 and anti-wheelie 1. The bike won't, there's no demons in it, it's not going to spit you off the back, but anti-wheelie 1 off the line just stops you flipping it, because it will flip itself over backwards, or you can just force the AI to get off like that, which always helps. And we're still on lap 1, but yeah, again, maximum commitment, use the lean angle, use the grip in the front tyre, because the rear tyre's got not a lot in it. Thankfully it doesn't have a lot of power. I just could not chase the leader down, and I was trying. I was seriously trying. There was some serious commitment. In fact, there was a little bit too much commitment. How we stayed on this bit, I am not quite sure. But I was pushing really hard, throwing it through corners, and every time I looked up the track to see where the leader was, they were miles in front. The gap was getting bigger. There was nothing I could do. It was a very emasculating feeling. And the worst thing is, guess what bike it is that won the race? Yes, it was a Harley Davidson, a motorcycle made from scrap metal and pig iron. Yes, not the greatest bike to finish second to, but she did have a distinct, I say power. She had more something, I'm not quite sure what it is, because Harleys don't have power. Time attack wise, we did 11 laps, 104.465. Was the best time that we managed, and it's just maximum commitment. I mean, look at the tyres, absolutely stone cold. Through turn 1, massive lean angle, use the curves, up to turn 2, just stay across the right and then just throw it in. Absolutely throw it into cascades, get on the brakes nice and hard. Not too late though, because the brakes aren't very good, and it's just, I mean, it's more like a gymnastics routine where you've got to be so precise and so accurate and do everything at the right time in the right place, because if you hit the curb or run on the grass, you just lose 0.2 of a second and you're never getting it back. It's just fun. I mean, look through Druids, there is nothing left there. I went as tight and as fast as I possibly could through Druids and just tried to leave nothing on the table. The number of times it was just losing the front end and making an absolute mess of it, but we got there in the, like I say, it did a decent lap time, 104.7. I thought was out of reach. We managed to stick a 104.4 in. The fastest time, I'm not saying I would think I'd be able to get there, but I mean, what's that? 0.7 of a second. Again, they're on the Harley, so we're the fastest KTM. So I don't think I can make that 0.7 of a second up. I really don't. So there's the cell. Soft. very, very, very soft, especially on the back end to try and get some heat in the tyre. Pros, it's not very quick. Gives you loads of time to think about your lines, think about when you're going to do your braking manoeuvres on, overtaking manoeuvres on the brakes. Lean angle, oh, does she lean? You just throw it in on them little skinny tyres, scrape them pegs and get your knee down. And the racing's close. It's close racing, it's fun. I know I was like belting to the front and trying to win, but it is what it is. So the racing is close, it is fun. Cons, it's not that quick. Not very quick and not that quick. Not very quick is a pro and not that quick is a con. It's, if you're used to riding the 600s and the 750s and the 1000s and whatever, it's just a bit slow. It never seems to really get going. The brakes are shocking. There's nothing. The brakes are just poor. After the Husky 701 Supermoto, which had the best brakes I've ever used on the game, the brakes are just crap. And tyre temperatures. Tyre temperatures are a problem, especially the rear, but you get what you get given, and there's nothing you can do. And that, my friends, is your lot. It feels like it's been a while. I do apologise. Again, I mentioned it earlier on. But we're back. My voice is almost back to normal. I am away with work again this week, so I'll get as much done as I can before I go. And I'll do some... I'm going to take my laptop and my hard drives down with me to get stuff done. So thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting, liking. Welcome to all the new subscribers. I will get around to answering all the comments soon, I promise. And fingers crossed, I will see you next time. Take care. Stay safe. Peace.